Welcome to The Greatest Love of All, the podcast about discovering the incredible power that lives inside you. Each episode, we explore how your everyday life and your spiritual side aren't actually separate. They are connected in ways that can transform everything. I'm your host, Izabela, a curious explorer of all things spiritual, and I'm joined by Ingvar, a gifted psychic with deep, deep insights. And together we will give you simple tools, wisdom, and hopefully inspiration to help you find balance, overcome challenges, and connect deeply with the greatest love there is, the love within yourself. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
So, Ingvar, today we have a slightly different topic. Nonetheless, I think very interesting. I think we're going to be talking about prophecies.
Yes.
So, let's just dive straight in. What is a prophecy? Because I guess the everyday media kind of paints a certain picture about it, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. So, what is a prophecy?
I will tell from my experience what it means for me and what means for people who are visiting me and who I'm talking with them because they want a prophecy for their life. So they have a questions and they ask me about many things. And of course, mostly I want from them that they will prepare the questions because then I'm asking this higher level field in a way these questions and I'm waiting for the answer. And then I get the feeling or pictures, then I can translate to them what this can mean to this person who I am talking with now and what can mean to this situation. So, and this is kind of, as you may say, a prophecy for their life.
That's really interesting. That actually, because you are actually creating many prophecies on individual level, right? Like we know the prophecy. Yeah.
Small prophecies. Yes, I think
Yes.
because mostly we know this as a huge prophecies. Yes, as Nostradamus was a master of the prophecies, and he wrote a book about this. So until to this day, they are finding out what he exactly was meant to this with his prophecies. So he was also using a kind of code to not discover too quick, or if even maybe he was mentioned to that this prophecy will not go to the not right person.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because he was coding it. It was like 4 verses in each prophecy,
Yes,
right? And they were
yes,
written in a very, well, what we would think, I guess, of like a convoluted way. There were like very difficult words, and you really had to look to find a meaning in it, right? But it's not quite how it works with you. You are not coming back with a 4-verse thing. You've got a little bit more, and as you say, it's like tailored to the question, right?
because when you, for example, have a prophecy or you have a dream, because it is the same, because this information it's coming from the level when you are not able to get so easily because you are in another frequency. So it is not easy for a regular person to get this information. I don't say it is not easy, but I don't say that it is possible to get. If you have, of course, when you are working on yourself and you have a good intuition, so it is possible. And for people who are very, very sensitive, they often get the information from the field. So I think in a way it is that maybe it's to get more sensitive, but in other way, if you are too sensitive, this outer life can, for example, hurt you. So you see, so this is what you want to choose. Or you choose the sensitivity, or you choose to live, just a simple person without so much feeling, without no receiving, because maybe that's the easier way for some people to live with in their life. But I think it is something deeply here that is forcing us to develop, to go more with our ability, this spiritual ability, because our spirit wants us, our soul wants from us to develop. So I think it is in this way to go on this road. And maybe we have sometimes, some of us can do this earlier and some of us can do this later, but we have own pathway, so we have to go there in our pathway. But in this, what I wanted to tell about the prophecy, sometimes you get the scary prophecies and then you are very afraid of it. It is viewed by the lens. Yes? So when you look through the lens, yes? So this picture is enlarged. And you see something very, very close. And sometimes you have no wide point of view, right? You are able to see only a point, and you see as a very, very large. And if you see this as a very large, and for example, if we take a microbe on the microscope,
Yeah.
oh, it can be scary creature.
Yeah.
Yes?
Do you know, in the same way, it's really interesting because I was listening to a content yesterday, and it was just the way we see ourselves. We see ourselves as the center of the universe, but actually, if you change the lens and look from the perspective of the universe, we are like a tiny little atom or a proton inside an atom. We are so tiny you can't even see it in the grand picture of the universe, right? So it's the case of changing the lens, right? How do you
Yes,
which point of
that's
view do
right.
you view it from?
Yes. So you see, it's depend of your point of view and understanding. And also, when you have a prophecy dream, and because people, they used to have this dream, this kind of dream often, and the things are happen next day, and they said, oh, I knew it, that was prophecy dream. But sometimes the things are happening, and they are afraid of this because
Yes.
they see the pictures. They see the pictures, and the pictures can be scary. But some of those people, they don't watch the feelings. What the feeling in this dream was. How do they felt in this dream? If they felt secure, even the picture was scary, or they felt scared. Because this is the information too. And they are forgetting about this because only they are occupied by these pictures, by this movie in our dream. So I think it is smart to watch all the or receive all the message, because it is like a package. It is like this zip information. So when you got this zip message, you have to unlock this and unpack the zip package. Yes?
Yeah.
So there is many information and many symbols which can means the one thing, but this can be connected to the another thing too. So you see, and this symbol can be universal. So So to understand, of course, what is mean to you, it's helping also this knowledge of your family, because the family used to have this symbols dictionary. I mean, you know what means the blood when in your dream, what is symbolized in for your family. So you see what when you are losing a teeth, for example, or something with the blood or without the blood, what it means. So, and many things. Or, of course, when someone who died came to and visiting you. So, this is also. So, you know, these symbols are important to know what was the meaning in your family, because this is this knowledge of the family. So, I mean, you inherit this from your family, from your grandfathers and grandfathers and grandmothers, of course. So you get this information to you. So you always we are inheriting this knowledge. This is the energy because it comes with the field. So if we know that maybe some of the dreams or some of the prophecy are they can be shown to us through the lens. Yes, and we can ask our heart what it means for us.
Do you know, can I just interject very briefly before you will move off from that? I actually think that dreams are very significant. And in fact, I will often call you and I will say, Ingvar, I had this dream. Can you please help me find the, what does this mean? But actually, I feel like this is one of those hidden powers that we've lost with time. Because if you look back, we had ancient Egypt, and Egyptians believed that dreams were messages from gods, or, they were guiding them through the events that were about to come. It doesn't take far more. Look at the Bible. How many dreams, prophetic dreams, were in the Bible? How many times, a different character had a dream and that was a message from God, right? And then, ancient Greece and Rome, Native Americans, Native Australian Aboriginals, like, there is just so much of it. It literally is all around our culture, all around the past, the history. You can find those prophecies and dreams, and it's something that we've forgotten how to access. There are some amazing books and people who research this as to how to actually control your dreams, and all of that.
Mhm.
It's fascinating reading. But as you say, it's just sometimes we can find our own prophecies because they are given to us if we are willing to listen, if we are willing to, I guess it's opening of that inner eye to look out for what is around in our field that can help us tremendously, right? And I have one dream that became a prophecy in our family. Can I just quickly share that history? My family and I were visiting for Easter in Italian Alps, and I remember we woke up one morning and I said to both the kids and to Mike, I was like, I had such a strange dream, guys. Like, we went out for this walk, and first there was a ginger cat, and then we kept on walking, and then there was a snake. And I was like, it just made no sense. I have no idea what this was. But we all laughed and kind of moved on. Anyway, later that day we went for a walk to the Alps, and we are walking up, and then going through like uh, a residential but remote area. So there were some houses, but a lot of it were fields, and obviously we're going up the mountain. And then all of a sudden there was a cat. There was a cat standing in there. It was sure enough a ginger cat, just on the side. We didn't make anything of it. Like, we all forgotten about the dream by that point. And then we kept on walking, and then sure enough, a black snake darts right in front of us. Everybody panicked, but then they were like, Mommy, you were dreaming about this. This came to you in the dream. And I was like, it did. It really did.
Yes. So you see, that
So
was a prophecy for the next
yeah.
day.
Yeah, it really
But
was, you see.
maybe some of us, they don't know that this prophecy can be prepared not as a prophecy, just that was prepared by our soul, what will happen to us next day. So, so you have a view of this in this dream, and you call this the prophecy. So you can, it can be prophecy or it can be a view what your soul has prepared for you for the next day.
Prediction. It's like a
It's
prediction.
yes, it's a
Prediction,
prediction,
right?
but this was happen. Yes, that was a prediction. But you saw this as a prediction, but you received this in your life next day. So I mean, this was meant to happen. So if we know this, often soul is preparing this situation in our life one day before. We have a tool also that if we are able to get this level, and that's why some people are dreaming consciously. So they were awake by sleeping.
That sounds very contradicting, but I do know what you
Yes,
mean.
yes,
Yes.
they are awake. So they have
Yes.
awakened conscious. So in their dream, and they are changing or prepare their life for the next day too, because they can be closer, to your soul.
Well, that's true. That's true. And so do you think that you can receive prophecies in a state of proper full awake, being fully awake and functioning? So, and I'm going to give a specific example because now you talk about it, it comes to me like this is probably what it was. So last year, we went on a really super cool trip with my family and we visited, amongst other places, Bali. And whilst in there, we had this incredible driver who just took us around to different places. He was honestly, he made our holiday in Bali an amazing experience. But he kept talking about his family. And one of the things he shared was that he just had a newborn baby girl, and they are not allowed to name her until she is 45 days old. And then there is a ceremony within their culture where the shaman connects with the spirits and receives the name for the
Mm-hmm.
child. And it's
Mm-hmm.
based on which ancestors come in and how they connect. So, anyway, just as we were about to leave Bali, I had this incredible feeling within me to say to him, you have to name your child a star. It has to contain a name star. And I shared it with Mike and with the children. And I was like, listen, guys, this is really strange, but I'm getting like somebody's literally pushing me to tell him about this. So I did, just as he was driving us off to the airport. I did. He just laughed and, he was like, he was really deeply believing in his things. And he was like, oh, that's great. And then waved us goodbye and off we went. And when the 45 days passed, I have messaged him and I was like, Mr. Sri, I would really love to know how did the naming go? What was the result of it? And he came back, and I'm actually just going to show you. He has sent me a message with beautiful pictures of him and his family. I don't know whether you can hang on. There we go. It's
Mm-hmm.
him and his family, and it's during the ceremony. And the name is, hang on. And look at that. He gave the full name. It reads Ni Kadek, which means a second child, Miri Budi Astari, which means a bright star. And I was just like, I knew
Mm-hmm.
it. So is it possible that we can receive this from the field in some unexplained way?
It was just happened. So
Yeah.
it's possible. You see.
So
So
what does it take? Like, do you need to be like super open? Because I didn't even ask about this. Like, this was, it didn't even cross my mind to know. Like, it just came.
because that information was in the field, as you just said. So this is the one explanation. But the second one is that maybe the parents were not able to receive the message at once. And the message went through you because there was a possible to to send this information to this parents, these children parents. So because sometimes it's often that, for example, you have no dreams. It can happen like that. You have no dreams, or you just don't remember your dreams, and it's calling to you your friend and telling you that I was dreaming about your situation, and there was this, and this, and telling you what was in this dream. And you listen, and actually, this was happened to me. But of course, it's often that there is a prediction with resolving your problem, and they saying to you, and maybe you was too stressed to receive the message. So this information went to this person because they know that this person is your friend, and it came to you through this person. It is like with your information to this parent. So
I
it's
also think that with time, as we become more open to spirituality, as we become more aware of energies, I think that it's easier for us to actually tune into this. And things like that can happen to you a lot more.
Mhm,
And I certainly noticed that with myself as
mhm,
the years progressed. You are an amazing teacher. You've been my teacher and guide for many years.
mhm,
And I feel like with time, like that horizon, that lens is getting just
mhm.
bigger, and I can see a little bit more and feel a little bit more. It's quite an amazing journey.
Yes, that's right. During this years, what I'm doing this my way, of course, my way of developing myself spiritually. So I met many person, and this is what I can say, that it's used to that it makes a huge impact on them. But I don't say like that I am a huge person. No, just I saw as a result. And as I said, during the years, this was my experience with this. So maybe I have something to them, maybe to give them a spark, to show
Show the
them,
way.
to be an
Yes.
inspiration. Because I always say that it is great to have an inspiration. Because if you have an inspiration, so you can see that this person is able to do many things, and it can inspire you, that you can start to believe that you can do also. You are able to also. So you are more confident after. So
And this is so true amongst so many different things. So, you don't have to be, it can be on such a simplistic level. Like, for
mhm,
example, you would really like to know how to paint a beautiful picture, but you don't have any knowledge of how to actually achieve the result you want to. But you will have a master who will just show you that with those two little tweaks, you can create the effect that you are hoping to achieve. And then you have an aha moment, and it's like, oh yes, this was so simple. It's the same thing, but we are dealing with something that we can't see, but we can feel. So it's just a different sense that you are exploring further. It might not be manual, it might not be visual, it might not be something you smell. It's like,
mhm,
people who taste wines, right? They will have, explore different notes through the smell, but they
mhm.
will learn this, right? It's the same thing. You can
That's
learn
right.
to perceive energy, to feel it and work with it
Mhm.
just in the same way.
Because this is with this resonating. So you resonate with frequency, and if someone will appear in your life, so he will become to resonate the same frequency as you, or close frequency. So because the law says that similar brings similar.
Similar.
right? So you see, this is like that with prophecy, and of course, when I'm doing with this work, what I'm doing, so I think this to develop myself, and if I can help to another people too, to give them the answer for these questions. So of course I have this frequency. So if you are in my field, so you will be able to have this frequency too. So you see, and of course you are more open on this. And it is on the way. This is on the way. This is a skill. So when we are more connected to our true field, I mean true that this spiritual, I mean this with the right pattern. Someone can say everywhere is a right pattern and everywhere is a true field. That's right. But for us, we have a right to choose which kind of field we want to create and with we want to be connect also. So you see, so we have a right to do it. But if we want to go back to this prophecies, so when we were preparing to this podcast, so you was saying about Nostradamus and Baba Vanga also. Yes, but I think it is not possible to talk about everything because also I don't know everything about everything yet, but I can say some of them. And if we take this Baba Vanga, because I was curious about her, and I don't know if you know this, that she was blind. She lost her possibility to look, to see, to see.
Yeah.
So because she was taken by the a tornado, and there was a sound who came to her eyes. So and she got damaged, so she couldn't see after. But that was when she was young. I remember she was a child at this time. Then after she got a guide, a spiritual guide, and this guide lead her and show the many things. And it's possible to see the movie about her. You can find it in YouTube, I think. So, but I read the prophecies for next 3,000 years. This I also find on the internet. So there was a kind of short movie with scary sound.
Yes, they make it very well produced, and
Yes,
yes.
but I don't remember exactly uh, the dates. But the dates was close to this. Um, I think it was the 3,000 year will happen this, and next 4,000 year or something will happen this and this. And
So to give a full context of Baba Vanga, so I've just pulled out some information. So first of all, her full name was Vangelia Pandeva Dimitrova, and she was from Bulgaria. She lived between 1911 and 1996, so it's relatively recent times. And she was often referred to as the Nostradamus of Balkans. And some of her most kind of, pronounced kind of prophecies and most accurate, allegedly most accurate. So, first of all, she predicted the breakup of the Soviet Union in 1991. She predicted Chernobyl disaster in 1986, 9/11 terrorist attacks. Again, she was speaking about the steel birds attacking America. Um, she did predict 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. She said that a huge wave disaster causing widespread destruction and human loss. And then she predicted the rise of ISIS and conflict in Syria. And you are right, her predictions go all the way till 5079, where she says that that will be the end of the earth. We will leave Earth and there will be environmental collapse in the year 5079. So more or less 3,000 years from now.
so there was, I remember she told that about the artificial sun, that there will be artificial sun, and there will be an issue with it, and the people will try to fix this, and it will be a kind of explosion. And when I read this, that was few years ago. So, I felt, because I'm very interested in science fiction too. So, it is a huge that people will make another sun, artificial sun, to give us the energy. It's very interesting, I thought. But, after a while, a few years, I read in the newspaper that the Chinese they are working on the artificial sun. And not only them. And this is a kind of fusion that they create a very high temperature inside.
Yeah.
In this instrument. So this is called artificial sun. But I thought first that this will be in the future. So you see, this prediction was not exactly about the future, this long future, but I think it was about this time. Not exactly today, but not so long in the future, I think. Maybe in 10 years, maybe in 5, maybe in 20, but not so long, I think.
So just as you say it, I'm kind of, going in and checking just to give a full context. So she did indeed say that in the year 2100, there will be a creation of artificial suns designed to illuminate and provide warmth for the Earth's dark side, whatever that was meant to be. Then by 2350, predicted an accident involving this artificial sun, leading to significant drought conditions on Earth. And then 2480, she anticipated a catastrophic event where two artificial suns would collide, resulting in a total blackout and plunging the Earth into darkness. Now, I then did find a mention of Chinese working on artificial sun. So it's China's experimental advanced superconducting tokamak. They call it EAST. And it's often referred to as the artificial sun, has achieved significant milestones. In January this year, 2025, they maintained high confinement plasma operation for 1066 seconds, surpassing its previous record of 403 seconds. So they are working and they are improving this. And obviously, this brings us a lot closer to harnessing nuclear fusion as a clean and virtually limitless source of energy, right? So mirroring essentially what's happening in the sun. So this is really interesting, as you say. Like she's mentioned that it's already happening to a certain degree. So who knows? It might be another 75 years before they will fully say it's going and nobody can switch it off, right? But it starts with 1,000 seconds.
So you see, this is a time. Sometimes it's difficult to find out when exactly will happen this situation, because the time is difficult to find out. So you see, and she was thinking that it will be after 1,000 years, for example. But this can be in the not so long future. I think.
That's true.
Maybe,
there you go.
Maybe in 50 or 20 years, maybe. I don't know. This is not a prophecy.
I was going to say, do you have any prophecies? Because you are the master of individual prophecies, but are you ever curious, as somebody who can easily access that, the energy field around, are you ever personally curious about what's happening in the world?
Many times it was happen, but because I'm not a person that I have a proper prophecy about this. Yes, yes, I heard the prophecies. Yes, I remember. Maybe, but it is about with what is happening now and what was happened exactly about the World War III. Yes, and that was few years ago when in Poland, I think it was in 19, no, not 19, 2014 or 15, something like this, when was beginning this war on the Ukraine.
Oh yes, the first round in
Yes, this
Crimea.
first, yes.
Yeah.
And people they were saying that, oh, the third war will coming. And people were asking me, my friend were asking me, do you see any third war? I mean, Third World War. So it was about this. And I asked about this. And I saw that at this time, when I was looking at this, that will not begin in Poland. This time, it was this time in
Yes.
2014 or 15, something like this.
Yes, because the Second World War
Yes.
started in Poland, right? Yes.
And it sent me to the Asia,
Huh.
and I saw the map of Asia, and I saw the China, and there was a brown color near the coast, but that was not, there was a wide, this brown. It was the white. So I mean, brown. This not the for me the color brown. It's not, not no. When I see, for example, I will explain. If I look at the person and healthy person, it's mostly filled up with the light. It's glowing with gold light, and so you see that every part of there's body it's with the light. So, but when you see a brown color, so for me that means there is a problem there. But the problem, it's not very, now you can turn it back this problem. But when you see a black, so it's very, the problem with health, it's very intensive.
Very.
But if you see a red, so it is, I forget the word.
It's like emergency, red emergency.
Yes,
Is
yes,
that what?
it's like an emergency, yes, but it's show that there is an inflammation. So I saw the brown color on the map, and there was not at this time, but later when came this COVID, I went back to this picture and put in the internet, and I discovered that this area was this Wuhan. So for me, that was the beginning of the problem. Beginning. And later on, that there was a problem with kind of islands. They don't show me what kind of island it will be, but some islands. And it will be a problem between China and Australia. And they will be discussing, quarreling about the islands. And some years ago, I read in the paper that the Solomon Island was visited by the Chinese delegation to offer them money for be in theirs this not territory, yes, And I wrote that there, and I read that there was Australia was very angry. Why the China it's crossing theirs, not the territory, but this place, yes, this island. When used to Australia have an interest. So you see, there is a conflict about the islands, yes. So you see, there was a, this kind of prophecy, but they told me that I have to be focused on this area. So this will be the beginning. But we know that now it's a problem, it's a conflict on the Israel and Palestine, yes. So
Yes, Palestine, yeah.
so we are focused more there. So you see, but maybe also I will tell about why was this Brexit.
Why did Brexit happen? What was
Yes, why? And
the real reason behind
what was the
Brexit?
real reason? Yes.
Yes.
So I remember when this time was, you remember that there was two times. Yes, one time the Great Britain will was saying that we will vote for Brexit. Yes, they did this once, and then a second one, it was they did this again, but this was successful, something like this. This was so. But before, my friend who was in Great Britain with the family, he was asking me what I should do because probably Great Britain will be in this Brexit. So maybe it is end because he was a Polish, of course. So he said maybe it's better for me to go back to Poland, maybe. So how the situation with this Brexit will be. So, and I asked for it, and I saw that everything is done. So I mean that this was only a feature for us to choose the Brexit.
So it was what you were saying. It was like smoke and mirrors. It was like the decision was made, but in fact, the public vote was literally just a way to demonstrate that you have a choice in this, right? So just to bring that back in perspective, we in 2015, the Conservative Prime Minister David Cameron he promised a referendum on EU membership if he won general election, which he then, of course, did. And the referendum was held in 2016. 51.9% of people voted as leave, 48.1 as remain. So it was a very close vote, like, according to the official media.
And why the Great Britain want to leave the EU? They show me that this was in a purpose because they want to back to this union what was before World War II. So this alliance. So I mean, Great Britain, Canada, USA, and their territory on the ocean. So, and of course, this was India this time too, but now India, it is not.
It's a powerhouse of its own.
Yes, because in the 50s that India was the Great Britain.
Was still part of the empire.
Yes, that leave the empire. Yes, so it is like that. And when the Great Britain is together with United States, Canada, Australia, so you see, this is a huge part of the world's country, and they have a power to say something to the world, to the China, to Russia, and they are showing that they are together, you see? And that is the real reason why the Great Britain left UA.
EU, yeah.
Yes.
EU, yeah. Well, and actually, if you think about it, the actual Brexit happened in 2020. And when we now look back at the scale of events that unfolded from that point on, it's really hard to think that all of it is a coincidence, right? Because it was like a continuous chain of events, 2020 onwards.
So you see, that is what I saw.
That's interesting.
And this is my prediction. So someone can say, but we know this, that it's totally wrong. It is something different was happening. But this is what you know from the mainstream.
That's right. But this is what came to you from the energy when you asked about it. So I'm curious because you said your friend has asked, should I leave the UK because of the EU? Was the answer yes or no? Was that a good
No,
place to stay
he
in or
should
not?
stay there. He should stay
Stay.
there. That was the answer.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So I think that our current prime minister must be a glitch in the system. So, but we will not go into the details of the current politics because this can get messy and very polarizing. May we just add? I think that politics is one of those things where we look at certain things, and as you say, it just depends where you take your information from, right? You take it from source A, therefore your opinion is A. But if you look at source B, your opinion will be B. And then, we can't agree on anything, which is actually in the interest of those who are in charge, because if we can't agree on a conclusion, we are powerless, right? So that's.
I will tell us some more about another prophecy, but not mine.
Okay.
But the prophecy of from Fatima.
Oh, yes. So Fatima was on my list as well. So shall I give her a little bit more context
Yes,
before you
please.
dive into the prophecy? This is a prophecy from 1917 from Portugal. And 3 Portuguese shepherd children called Lucia, Jacinta, and Francisco claimed to have visions of the Virgin Mary. And Mary supposedly revealed 3 secrets predicting events such as World War II and the rise and fall of the communism, which I'm sure you will tell us more about. And then it's significant because it's actually officially recognized by the Catholic Church, influencing religious thought and geopolitical narratives. So it stands out because the Catholic Church was like, that's it. Like, this is legit. So over to you, Ingvar.
Yes, so as you know, Catholic Church is saying there appear a Mother Mary. And there was also the angel, Gabriel angel. But some people, they are saying quite different, that it wasn't Mother Mary. And last time I listened a podcast on the YouTube with the author of the book. She's named Sylwia Kleczkowska, and she wrote a book about the Fatima and the prophecy, if this prophecy is true. I don't remember now exactly the name of the book, but was something about this. And she was explaining what was exactly happened in Fatima. I think it is very interesting to listen because you will get know how this works. And maybe you discover in your own sense of feeling, but maybe it will not be just as they said. I mean, the church.
Well, that's the thing. This is one of those prophecies that has been heavily meddled with by the Catholic Church. So you kind of have to question, is that really a thing, or is that just a way to maybe put through a specific agenda? Because I mean, church has struggled massively and continues to struggle massively. There are so many different controversies. Obviously, Catholic Church has gone through quite a lot of turmoil in the last 50 years. So it's an interesting one to look at. Is that an attempt by the church to bring people closer to them, right?
So this what I want to tell. What is my point of view? It is that this prophecy, it scared us. If you don't pray, we will get to war, right? So we
Yeah.
have to pray, and then maybe war will not happen. I mean this World War III. So this was saying in this prophecy. And so you see the act of scaring people, scaring the souls, unconscious souls.
Yeah.
What people are do with when they are scared, they
They've
start to resonate with this frequency. You see? And this is saying also that do what we are telling you, what you should do. If you are not listening us, be a punishment, be a huge punishment. But where is your free will? I'm asking. Where is your free will? Where is your heart? Where is the point of view of your heart? Where is your soul in this? They told us, your soul will be saved. So only what you have to do to pray.
or be a prey. We
Yeah.
did talk about this before.
Yes. So you see,
Yeah.
but we are prey because we are afraid. That's why we are prey. And when you are praying, when the people are praying and thinking about this scaring, so they raise this scaring energy. They producing. You see? But if you go to your heart and you know that your life was chosen by your soul, and your soul knows why this life was chosen, but maybe we don't know, but the soul knows. So and soul is choosing this situation in our life for purpose, because can develop, can understand more after.
We grow. And sometimes actually the only way to grow is to go through difficult times, because that's what
Mhm.
forces the growth out of the situation, right?
Yes. So even if will be a difficult situation, so it is chosen by our soul. But also we are the creators. We are forgetting about this. So when we are connected with our heart, we are in the right frequency that we can create without a fear. And when you are creating without a fear, you have better knowledge. I mean, you are connected to this field of wisdom, and then you can create by your heart. And so in this situation, so you see that maybe you can create the situation without the war. But of course, only you, but I think you are not able to create this situation only by you. But if there will be a millions who are creating this peace in their heart, if they are not afraid, so you see, we have a different future then. You see? So who is telling now us about this prophecy to scare us? You see?
And actually, if you think about it, so this particular prophecy came in 1917, which was middle of, well, tail end of the First World War, right? So it captured people at the right time because people were already scared. So like this really wasn't a, an overstretch to put in imagination that something like this could happen again. It happened, like people were really, really scared. But that was at the time where we didn't have information so widely available as we have today. You couldn't go to the internet and see what's happening at the other side of the world, what somebody said the moment they said it. The information was scarce and had to travel a long time before it reached you. And when it reached you, it was already filtered, and it could have been filtered, right? But look at what's happening today, right? In today's world, it's actually really, if we wanted to replicate a prophecy like this, to follow a specific agenda or to get people to think in a specific way, it would have to be done very differently. And I don't think it takes a far stretch of imagination to think that the influence, well, let's call them legacy media, has on us, the influence government may want to have on us, can be very easily achieved through a very simple means. Like it no longer has to be a prophecy. It can be just a misinformation, which we have seen during COVID, like executed to the T. People were scared. And it followed specific agenda. So, and as you say, maybe now we also have a choice and we can just think of different reality, not necessarily the one that we are fed through the legacy media.
What I advise first, maybe it's smart to think what I'm feel inside, I mean in my heart about this prophecy. If this prophecy is useful for me. So you see? So, and if it is not resonating with me, so it is not useful for me. So I just leave it. I'm choosing this what I feel in my heart. So you see, and the life is going. So, and as I said, the life is you. You are creating the life, and the soul, it is also you. So you see, life, soul, and you, it is the same. And on this level, when you understand this, that you are oneness, you are the oneness. Someone can ask, okay, but where is the God? God is not outside you. God is not outside you. God is in you, and God is in the soul. God is in the life, because it's created by the God. So soul is created by the God, by the no, God created by excuse me, God is
God created
creating.
us in
Yes,
his image, and
yes,
therefore, if we
yes,
believe that the image, it has to be perfect, because if we assume that something isn't, that God created isn't godly itself, then we are
yeah.
contradicting the importance of God.
So we have to remember that the life, it's us. The soul, it's us also. And all together, when we know that, so you are become a creator, because I am the life. So I can create the life. And you start to see, okay, and you start to feel this field, and you can start to choose what you create consciously or unconsciously. So, because when you are in the field together, so you are becoming the same as these people who are around you. So you have to choose what kind of frequency you are choosing, what is good for you. So, and then, as the law is saying, similar brings similar. So you're changing the pattern, and because you are changing the frequency, so you are start to create more conscious.
I love that because actually it just brings the power into your own hands. And when we started to talk about the prophecies, it can almost feel like things have been decided. You have no choice, right? That's what some of the prophecies make you feel like. But actually, the message here is on the contrary, and it is that you are in power. You have the power within you to be the creator, but you have to be conscious of it. And I guess that's the ultimate message we're hoping to bring with this episode. That's brilliant. I think that's a great way to close because it's such a great way to just kind of contemplate it on your own, kind of contemplate your own power from there. Yeah, that's absolutely it. If you haven't done so already, make sure to click subscribe because our episodes are full of little golden nuggets that hopefully will lead you to a happier and more in control life and creations that you didn't even know existed. So click subscribe and share that episode with somebody who would enjoy it. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, and please subscribe our channel.